Hi, this is Dr. Rohrich. Welcome back to Rohrich Knows Podcast, helping you become a better you and a more educated you. So today we're going to talk about light therapy. And I'm honored to have a world expert on light therapy, Dr. Marmur from New York City, an incredibly talented dermatologist. Welcome, Ellen. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. And of course, it's sunny in New York, so it's got a lot of light.
It's got a lot of light, and it's making everybody so happy. It's a really exciting time of year.
That's right. And, you know, I've actually, I've been doing a little homework on light therapy. Of course, as a plastic surgeon, I don't know very much about light, except I live in Texas where we have a lot of sun. But there are a lot of therapeutic aspects of light therapy. So Ellen, tell us a little bit about, light therapy and its therapeutic uses. Because, on Google, there are so many different things about it. And as you know, Dr. Google is not a doctor and he's wrong maybe 70% of the time. So set us straight. And really our goal is to kind of educate people. So when somebody comes to see you as a dermatologist, they're entrusting you and you're saying, okay, I want to have some type of light therapy. So can you tell us, I know about, the treatment for acne and that may be blue light, but just share with us kind of in a short synopsis of what blue, red, and all these different therapies, do they really work?
Okay, so those are a lot of questions all in one.
Yeah.
And I think that for most people, we want to understand just like, okay, light therapy, that's like a kind of a new word, really, because really when people were coming to the derms, at least for the past maybe 20 years, like our listeners are coming in saying, I want laser therapy.
Right.
So like laser therapy is what people are coming in. They want their wrinkles gone. They want their brown spots gone, right? They want their, even their fat gone with laser lipolysis. And so we're used to kind of blowing things up. So laser is that photothermolysis, like using light to blow things up to make them better.
Right.
And then I did a fellowship in that. So I did a ton of research in that back in 2003. I do lasers, like thousands of cases of lasers a year. And one time when I was hiking, I was really appreciating photosynthesis. I was really appreciating how nature uses visible light and different light to just live. And I was thinking, gosh, our eyeballs evolved to see visual light, and also our skin is the only other organ that evolved to use visible light to make our body better. How can we do that in dermatology? And that's really what light therapy is. It's using visible light and low-level light therapy, not blowing things up with lasers, and
right.
using low-level light to work on the molecules in our skin to heal and make us better. So yes, we have a spectrum of light. You think of the rainbow, you think of a spectrum of colors, right. And each of those has a different wavelength and different power and different target in the skin to do different things. What I was really interested in learning about was that it's actually specific. So just like using lasers, we're specifically finding things to work on, like they're called chromophores, right?
Right.
Like melanin is a chromophore, red blood cells are chromophores. But in the skin for low-level light therapy, we actually have selective chromophores also, and those are in the mitochondria of every single cell. And mitochondria is a word that most people remember from like 8th or 9th grade biology class. Mitochondria is the battery operating right. every single cell in our body. And it has something called a respiratory transport chain, and they have little cytochromes in it. So cytochrome means it's a chromophore, it grabs onto light, it's inside the cell, the cytoplasm of the cell, and that's how we rev up the mechanisms of the cell. So we can go through the rainbow of colors together if you want to talk about that, but that's how light therapy works.
Well, that's great. And you really, you were stimulated by a hike, going on a hike, huh? It's great. It's probably one of the, we all learned the Krebs cycle in medical school, and you never really apply it, but I think you applied it. It's one of the few physicians that has applied the Krebs cycle.
I hated that Krebs cycle.
I did too.
I mean, I never really did it, but I think looking at nature and seeing, so the way I learned it was hiking up Mount Kilimanjaro. You're going from 6,000 feet to 21,000 feet. And all the plants evolve like little tiny flowers are bright red. And that bright red is like grabbing onto as much light as it can. And other plants are like big monster aloe vera plants. Right. And they close at night just to capture the dew. And it's really showing you like how plants evolve and how our, You
Right.
can just use that as a metaphor for how our body evolves to all these different, different environmental things. So using and harnessing light, which is all around us. It's not UV. That's a common mistake. I think people wonder,
Right.
like, is it going to hurt me?
Right.
Yeah, so it's not UV light, it's visible light.
So let's go through. So what about red light therapy? Tell us about
Okay.
what about red light therapy? I mean, when do you use that?
Okay, so red light therapy is great for wound healing. It's great for calming inflammation, and the wound healing means rejuvenation, really. We use it practically in the office, like after procedures when you're super red and inflamed and you're post-laser and you're really wanting to rev up that healing process. There's a really cool story about NASA. I know you're going to ask maybe this later, but it has to do with red light. Can
Sure.
we talk about that
Yes,
now?
absolutely.
Okay. So red light was discovered by mistake, and actually, I love this story. NASA was in the 1990s trying to figure out how to grow more agriculture off our planet. And so they realized that they need to understand photosynthesis better. And using red light to grow agriculture was their main idea. And they brought these big heavy duty red lights in outer space, and they started trying to grow little tiny plants. And they found also that astronauts get wounded a lot, like, bumping around inside the
Right.
space shuttles. And the astronauts who were under the red lights, like helping, do the plant agriculture, all their skin healed really, really well.
Really?
And that's how they observed that red light actually works on wound healing. They brought back these astronauts, and then for the next, 20, 30 years, they were working on, oh, wow, how do we make LEDs lighter, more lightweight, and able to go into outer space so we could do more experiments on them. And then they found that the LED light not only worked on the astronaut's skin healing, but also like their bone strength and other biological aging processes that accelerate in outer space. So that the NASA has really also done this idea, like photosynthesis in plants. Oh my God, it works biologically on humans. Not only does it work on skin, it works on other things too. The thing about red light is that it goes the deepest into the skin of all the visible light spectrum. So if that rainbow of light, the red goes deepest. And so really in our practice, and for those of our listeners who want to do this for beauty purposes and for health purposes, it's really going to help your skin heal faster. If you have acne blemishes, it's the blemish that will heal faster. It's not the acne, but your skin and your collagen will heal nicely with the red light.
So how do you have them come to the office, or do they get a home unit? How do they do that?
So we have two different sizes. I think I can just show them
Sure.
to you. We have ours are the things about our spheres is that this is the size of a dinner plate. And
Right.
we'll go through all the different colors together, but it has 9 different settings and 5 different colors. And so after or before the procedure, patients are using the green light. This is me looking like an alien with green light. You can see that it's about 12 inches away. So the patient is holding it on their chest. You can do it at home. You just put it on your computer desk and you're actually working on the computer. You don't have to hold it onto your face.
Okay.
So right now you can see the light is still on me and it's right in front of my keyboard. So the goal is to have something that people are compliant with. Given that it's a low-level light therapy, you need to do it 3 times a week. And it goes off after 20 minutes by itself. So we know that you can use different color lights. Here's your red light. I don't know if you can see the red.
Yep, you can see it. You can see it.
And that is the one that we said goes deepest into the skin. It's great after laser for our patients, and then they go home with a smaller one. So this is the baby sphere. You can see the different sizes.
Okay.
So one is the size of a dinner plate, one is the size of a salad plate, and they can go home with it. They have an ergonomic handle so you can run around the house and, do stuff, or you can put your iPhone right inside this little slot and you can waste 20 minutes on your phone. So you can catch up on your Instagrams and everything like that while getting yourself an awesome.
Where do you get that? Did you design that? Did you design that?
Yeah, I knew that there's no way that I myself would be doing anything that I had to hold onto my face.
Of course, nobody do that. That's great.
So I was like, how can I multitask this? How can I make it look beautiful? So this is actually the shape of the Guggenheim Museum. Do you see how it's like an
Yes.
abstract, beautiful art form? It's got several hundred LED lights on this panel. We designed it with some engineers here in the United States. It has a lens over the light, so you'll never hurt yourself. And it's got an old-fashioned stereo dial so that you don't feel intimidated by this new technology, and it clicks. So it's very tactile. And I think that, what we do for ourselves at home really has to feel good, or else we just won't do it.
Right, and it has to be simple. That'd be simple too. Yeah.
Simple and effective. The one thing about low-level light therapy is that it doesn't feel like anything. And the the current consumer really likes to feel like they're hurting. Like it's like they feel a ping, or they feel a zing, or they feel a thing.
You don't need to
and light, you don't want it to hurt your body. You don't want to create more inflammation. So anyway, that's the red light. The blue light is great for people with acne. And blue light just kills the acne bacteria on the skin, because that bacteria is photosensitive. So it's like little missiles of light come in and blow up that acne. Lots of patients of ours take it to college with them. It's a great thing if you don't really want to be on a lot of medications. You can maybe be on less medicine, but have your blue light. And they come with acne serums that go with it to help you also use the moisturizers and the ingredients. So ours is a photodynamic system. The ingredients that go with it are also photodynamic, and that makes it work better.
Yeah. So how often do you do these therapies? Like for acne, is it 3 times a week in 20 minutes? Or what is the regimen?
If you are a teenager or somebody who has acne, you can use it every day. When we got the FDA clearance and we were speaking to them, they said, please write the maximum limit is 2 times a day, because they felt like people were going to really want to use this for like hours and hours a day.
Okay.
So patients use it 1 time a day for really treating themselves. If you want to just maintain good skin, you use it 3 times a day. And usually you're using it for 6 weeks at a time.
And how many minutes each time?
It's 20 minutes, and it's on autopilot. So there's a timer.
Wow.
It goes off by itself after 20 minutes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, okay. So and each of those, they can dial in each of those different lights that we're going to talk about. So we talked about red, blue. What's the other popular one that's
green is the most interesting to us.
Oh yeah, and you're an expert in that. So tell us about green light. I don't know much about green light. I knew about blue light and a little bit about red light. So why is that so? It's hot now, and of course you've done a lot of the work on that.
Yeah, I think we are the first people ever to pioneer the science behind green light in the skin. So we can finally say we know exactly what it's doing in the skin. Whereas before, I think it was like on the color wheel that you downloaded from Google.
Yeah, another Google thing. I sent it to her and she said, well, it's not completely right. And I said, oh, okay. Well, that's why we're here. Okay, so tell us the real truth about green light therapy.
Well, green light is incredible. Green light is actually near yellow light on the spectrum. What green light does is it works on the mitochondria like we talked about. It works on the growth factors, the wound healing, and the retin-A receptor, which was shocking and stunning to us. So what we did is a study where we took real women. We used green light 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, on half of their face and not on the other half. We did a biopsy of the non-treated skin and a biopsy of the treated skin, and we sent that for translational genetic amplification and looked at it purely with data, so non-biased, sent it away to another lab. They amplified these 2 pieces and compared them against each person, and they showed a big difference between the treated and untreated, so then it did something.
Right.
Then they gathered all of the data and put it through this, it's called a library of canonical molecular pathways. So like we know these pathways of how the skin works. And it looked at all like 10,000 pathways, and they found that it worked on reducing very significant inflammation that causes things like eczema and causes rashy skin. It reduced that. So that's going to make your skin look better, like the texture and the complexion will look better. Then it turned on the superfamily of retin-A receptors, and we know that's for normalizing keratin and growing the skin. It increased the mitochondria itself, so it's called browning of white fat. So it brings more energy to the skin to do all of those repairs that you need. So you're getting the antioxidant benefit, you're getting the pro-keratin, pro-collagen, and really it reduced it. Now and then we used artificial intelligence where we photographed these women, and the AI did a quantification of their skin age. So I was one of the patients. My skin age was older than I actually am, and I think it's because I've done so much hiking. I have so much sun damage. After using the green light for 6 weeks, my skin age went down by 4 years.
Really?
So we found that consistent. The average reduction of skin aging was 4 years in these patients using the green light.
Wow, with 6 weeks of therapy.
6 weeks of 20 minutes a day for 20 minutes 3 times a week for 6 weeks.
Wow. So, and then we also had talked about, and at a molecular level, it actually causes the cells to change, maybe even so it has a true anti-aging effect, right, in healing cells.
Yeah, and I think also one thing I want people to understand is that the skin is already a genius organ. It's like your heart, your liver, your kidney, like it kind of knows what to do. And so what we should be doing is not like a scientific experiment on our skin using new ingredients and chemicals all the time. I think one lovely thing about light is that it goes right past that skin barrier, right into the skin, no chemicals. It tickles these little things that are already there and helps them along and sort of boost the bionic biology of your skin anyway. So you're using light therapy to boost your skin biology to make your skin healthy and beautiful. And I think like humans respond to somebody who looks natural and beautiful, doesn't look weird. It's a really safe thing to do as long as you don't hold these LEDs. Like the masks concern me a little bit, because even though they're out in the world, they're in the consumer world, right. Many of them, like millions of them, were actually recalled by Neutrogena, and that's public information, because the blue LEDs were close to the eyes. So any of these masks that come, within a couple centimeters of the eyes, the glare was too strong and causing heat damage to the eyes. And that's been published, and they had to be recalled. That's one reason why, as a laser surgeon who did a fellowship in lasers, I was like, I'm not putting a mask on my face. There's something that feels wrong about that. But 12 to 24 inches away, we've been able to now prove that does have that biological therapeutic effect on the skin. So we recommend green light for people who break out like with rosacea, which is inflammatory, and who have sun damage and just regular signs of aging.
And all of these types of therapy, they don't have any, the way you've talked about, they don't have any effect on the eyes, right? I mean, especially with the distance they're at.
I would always say we do include a free pair of eye protection goggles in every single box that we send, just in case somebody is on a photosensitizing medicine or they know they have an eye problem. Like, you'd have to talk to your ophthalmologist, but there are plenty of people who have rare eye diseases. That doesn't mean you're disqualified from using LED. That just means that you have to be extra careful. So, the other thing about LED is that it actually works on other things like headaches.
Yeah. So tell us about that. Which type works on headaches and migraines and depression? Which type of therapy does that? Which type of light?
I love this so much that light therapy works on our mood and our wellness beyond just our skin. And that goes back to the fact that the eyes were evolved to respond to the visible light spectrum. The eyes work on the brain. The brain is where all our hormones are released. And then that's how our wellness and mood benefits come from. I think traditionally we understood that red LED worked on migraine headaches. And the way that works is that they think that there's this cascade of inflammation that causes vasospasm and causes headaches. So the anti-inflammatory benefit of the red light was understood from that NASA science. Now, actually, just this past year, green LED light used 2 hours a day when people were having migraines also showed reduction in migraine headaches. And I have to say, anecdotally, my husband has migraines sometimes, and he had our green light on, and he was like, this is really weird, but my headache went away. And I was like, oh my God, there was just a study that was out of University of Arizona that was just published on this. So it really does work.
Wow, that's great. And, we've all known that people that live in more tropical climates, at least, I lived in Boston for a while, and it just seems like the mood there in the winter is not as good as in the summer. And I live in Dallas, and it's sunny all the time, and so I think there's a lot to it. Now that's just kind of sunlight, but I really
no, it's not. So that's the amber light. Let me show you the amber light. So amber light is the first one on the dial here.
And is that the sunlight? Is amber the sunlight?
Yes. So
really?
Amber kind of mimics.
Use that in the winter in New York?
Yeah. So seasonal affective disorder, SAD.
Oh, and it's a true entity. It's truly an entity.
It is the number one reason people buy LEDs worldwide is SAD.
Really?
It affects so many people. And like you said, the circadian rhythm is so important to us, right? So that's 100%. That diurnal rhythm, morning, night, and the hormone spikes that come with that. Cortisol spikes in the morning, the parasympathetic nervous system at night. And when you were in Boston, you had like 1 hour of daylight probably, right?
Right.
And they also say that people spend 90% of their time indoors. And so their circadian rhythm, we evolved to be outside.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm. So your light has amber. So you've got normal light in there, amber light.
So it has amber light. And just like the sunlight, when you go outside and you get these endorphins, that's really like why people who are addicted to being out in the sun, it's this endorphin kind of euphoria that they get. That same euphoric response you can get with the amber LED light. And that we believe it's triggering the sympathetic nervous system. It's kind of getting you revved up, kind of waking you up. Come on, come on, come on. And it kind of gets you going during the day. So plenty of people have their coffee, have their cereal. Our patients put this on their ellipticals or on their, Pelotons, and they're getting light therapy while they're exercising and getting going for the day.
So before I have you give us some key take-home points, so how do you use light therapy? And tell us how you do it just normally, like during the day and the weekends and...
Okay, so I am the kind of person, like, product placement is my friend. Like, if it's not right in front of me, I'll probably forget to do it. So I have the light right next to my computer. It's hands-free, but also there's a charge port. So I keep it plugged into the USB port in the back of my computer.
Okay.
It's right there. And I turn it on and I log into my computer and I catch up on a couple things. And I'm halfway through what I have to do, I'm already done with my 20-minute session.
Is this a green light? Is this a green light?
I do green light, yeah. And then I bonus myself actually usually with amber. And what I've noticed is that the amber not only is at that euphoria feeling, but it also moisturizes. I feel like there's some reason that it creates moisturization in the skin. So I tend to have really dry skin. And I think it really helps that. And that's our next science project. That's our next clinical study, is to see, like, what is amber light doing on those molecular pathways in the skin. My goal is to do that with every single color of light, so we can actually tell you, this hits this molecule, this hits that molecule. You don't need these, you don't need vitamin C serum as much because you can use your LED light. Like, I'd love to make the world a more sustainable place, less products, less science experiments, more biology.
I love that. I love that, Ellen. So where do you get this? I mean, obviously you can get it on Amazon, or do you have to go through a dermatologist, or tell us how you do that?
No, you can get it on Skincare. You can get it on Amazon. And you can get it at leading dermatologist practices in the United States. So it's, you'll see we're going to be collaborating with some other people soon, but those are the best places, is Skincare and your local dermatologist.
Okay. All right.
And your local plastic surgeon, I hope.
So, it's great. So, but you have to go through a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon to get it, or you can get it directly from...
direct to consumer online on mmskincare.com.
That's great. And we'll put that on the podcast as well.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
No, we'll do that. So, all right. So take home points for the consumer about true light therapy, the truth about light therapy. So, and please send us your comments and questions. It's fascinating, Ellen. So tell us like the 5 take-home points you think that the consumer should know about things that really do work. Not the Google wheel I sent you, but the truth wheel.
I think that you should use blue light therapy for your acne. Okay. I think you should use green light for your, we call it preservation aging, when you want to really preserve your skin and look as good as you do, because I can't believe you live in Dallas and have no sun damage. It's amazing.
Well, I have sun damage, but anyway. But
we won't talk about that. The other colors like amber, I think, are really promising. So all the different colors have their skin improvement and also their mind-body wellness improvement. And I really love that, and I want people to embrace that. Low-level light therapy does not have to hurt, so I want people to get away from thinking that they have to sting their skin with acids or chemical peels or scrubs or toners. I'd like you to get away from that and understand that your poor skin does not need to be tortured to get you an improvement. So let's transform the way you think about your skin. It is now proven. We have clinical studies in translational medicine, so this is not like a trend. This is not a gadget. This is a new way of using light and technology, and now it's accessible and strong and safe. I'd like you to be a little bit careful about using the things that are so close to your eyes. So the LED masks, I'm a little concerned about. So we, make sure that you use ones that are far away from your eyes. And then ask your dermatologist, like, how can I use low-level light therapy, LED therapy, to improve my skin? And how do I use the proper skincare system so that I'm getting the best out of it?
Awesome. Ellen, fantastic. And this is one of the few things where often you hear, if it's going to hurt, beauty hurts. Well, in this case, light therapy doesn't hurt, and it doesn't have to. I love that. I love that, Ellen. Ellen, thank you so much. Ellen is a leading dermatologist at Marmur. She's in New York City. And tell us your website, and we'll post it as well, where we can get all the science behind green therapy. I love green. I love what you said about green light. I'm actually going to get it. I'm going to put it in my computer. I'm on the computer more than I need to be. And, and so one other thing, just before we, tell us, like, at night, people talk about your cell phone. You probably should not be exposed to it at night. Or tell us, what's the damaging? What's that light? That's not good light, right?
Yeah, that's true. The blue light that emanates from your cell phone, there's also a little infrared light from your cell phone that can come through. So that is very energizing. Blue light is used actually for people with Alzheimer's to kind of boost their memory. So it's actually... We talk about it as a memory light. I tell students, use the blue light when you're studying because it enriches your memory, but it also creates alertness. So right before bed, you will not get that circadian rhythm. You are not going to get that diurnal rhythm the way you need it to be if you're watching Netflix or something on your cell phone, that emanation of blue light. The red light from the LED is used for babies, actually. It's safe for babies to help them get to go to sleep. The red light is actually used also for Alzheimer's. It has so many different applications. It's been proven in studies to help patients with Alzheimer's become less agitated. Okay. And red light is also thought to release dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is like serotonin. Dopamine is that happy, hug, love, wellness feeling, and that'll really help you go to sleep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ellen, and I really appreciate all this incredible information. And we'll post that as well, and how to get the safe light. All right. Thank you again. Awesome. Fascinating things about therapeutic aspects of light therapy from Ellen Marmur from New York City. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and man, for me to learn a lot, that's pretty impressive. So, thank you so much, Ellen, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, talk soon. Thank you.
Bye bye.